Hey guys, glad to have you watching. In this video I would like to show you a beautiful colony. These ants originally come from Taiwan and from Taiwan only as far as I am aware. They are called Camponotus habereri. They have a beautiful coloration and these ants have beautiful patterns on their gaster. I'm keeping the ants in this small setup, a small nest and an outworld. They are housed in this quality ants mesh nest, and their outworld is the old container for my feeder insects. The nest is almost full, but I will replace it for a larger one from aesthetic ants if the nest gets too packed. As far as I am aware, these colonies don't get too big, and I was being told that they don't grow very fast either, but I think the colony has done pretty good in their first year. I did notice that their brood production went down a little, and the brood that they are producing now is a lot bigger. It's hard to properly show the brood, especially the bigger ones, since the colony is doing their absolute best to cover and protect them. As soon as the colony feels vibrations, they stack up pretty good and cover up a lot of the brood. We have been discussing the colony in the chat, and some thought it could be a late brood, but I'm not sure how big these colonies can get and how close to maturing they actually are. Maybe some of the viewers may know. Let me know in the comments. Personally, I think these larger larvae are just majors. These are the larger and stronger workers in the colony. They have a bulky head with strong mandibles, but ironically enough, they mostly stay in the nest. The majors in this colony mostly provides as a walking food storage. Every now and then a worker comes by to feast on some food, which is stored inside of the major. The queen is always well hidden between the workers, on top of their younger brood. Even in this small nest it can be quite tricky to spot her and properly film her. Last year I bought 2 queens. This queen was very chill from the beginning and was laying non-stop. The other queen was easily stressed out, but the brood production was quite good. Unfortunately, the other queen died 3 months ago, and this is the only colony that is left. I'm happy to see that this colony is doing pretty good now. The ants keep on growing and the nest is almost full. Ants everywhere besides the mesh area, because almost every colony I have avoids the mesh part. These ladies are a big fan of sugars. They receive both Sunburst and beetle jelly. I love how their gasters swell up due to the drinking. I have a really nice time lapse at the end of the video which will show this. The ants are really curious and won't hesitate to check out what's going on, but they're very careful when they do it. I have never seen them outside with more than 10 workers at the same time. But when I give these ladies their sugars, it won't last for 24 hours and they will scrub it clean completely. Filled up and colored red, they clean themselves right after. Funny fact is that they do this on the same exact spot every time, right above the entrance towards their nest. And to be honest, I don't mind it at all. It gives a really nice contrast when filming. Like most of my colonies, they receive their protein from dubia roaches and worm. They will eat the roach, but they'd rather have something else. Most of the ants are checking the roach out in the afternoon, but walk straight ahead right after. And only some of them will feast in the afternoon. Like a lot of ants, these ants are mostly active at night. Can you imagine? Short nights to get some decent footage, because the ants would refuse to eat their dubia in the afternoon. It's a different story with worms. As soon as they find one, they will inspect it immediately, slowly walking around it and approaching it until the ant has seen enough and starts the attack, fighting and spraying acid until she's confident enough to feast. I'm not sure why they do this with worm only. Maybe muscles inside are still moving? Usually it's the other way around. Most colonies prefer dubia over worm, but the habereri rather has worm. They will eat it all the way through, until there's only a shell left. But even with a tasty meal like this worm, the ants will stay cautious and will feast with a minimal amount of workers each time. I tried making a time lapse, but 4 ants running back and forth doesn't make wonderful content. Luckily, the Sunburst time lapse turned out pretty nice, so try to stick around, it might be worth it. And yes, I know, dubia roaches are a lot better if you look at the nutritions, since worm contains a lot more fat. But if I can make the ladies happy with some worm, I'll gladly get them some. The ants are not aggressive, but they are defensive when it comes to their nest. The tube adapter from Antheap always have some workers on them defending the entrance. But when I cause vibrations due to feeding, a small group will rush out. Some ants will stay near the adapter, and a third group will stand in the tube, right behind them. I love how adaptive and careful these ants are, thoughtfully but curious, and defensive enough to cause a scene. They are tidy and efficient as well. They eat the remains of the pupae. I have never found any laying around. And I have also never found any trash inside of the nest. Everything is tidy in a corner of the outworld. If you ever have the opportunity to get yourself a colony, I wouldn't think too long about it. They remind me a little bit of Nicobarensis, but they look a lot better, they keep their nest clean, and even their outward looks tidy. They're well organized, adaptive, cautious but not shy, and colonies won't get that massive. Another great feature is that they were pretty quick producing their majors. So if you're planning to keep a colony for yourself, just make sure the nest is well hydrated and you should have yourself a wonderful colony. I'm a fan of Nicobarensis, but these ants are a lot better in my opinion. I can't wait for the colony to mature, so I can give them a proper nest. All that remains now is the time lapses that I created. I always loved physogastrism, but with the habereri it even looks better. If you got this for watching, I'm hoping that you somewhat enjoyed my content. I would appreciate it a lot if you would subscribe. If you are from Taiwan, I would love to hear from you. And for everyone else, please comment and like as well. It would mean a lot. Enjoy the upcoming time lapses, and I'm hoping to see you all in the next video. Bye bye.